Excellent. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have a magnificent guest with us today, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the iconic and legendary Captain Dennis Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Well, alaikum salam, my dear nephew. How you doing?
You're doing phenomenal, sir. And on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast, we thank Allah for you and your family, and we thank Allah for you taking time out of your busy schedule to come have a conversation with us about such an important topic today. This has been, as I received a call from Captain Dennis, and anybody knows in the military or any structure, out of respect, when an OG calls you and gives you a recommendation, you know, a hint to the wise is sufficient. And he said, we should do something that's like a Million Man March week. And I said, okay, yes, sir. I usually do my interviews all on one day. When you gave me that suggestion, I said, let's line them up through the week so we can hear all of the great vantage points and viewpoints of those who walked with the Honorable Minister and walked with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but primarily dealing with the Million Man March. So thank you for the suggestion, Brother Captain. And we look forward to getting started right away. My first question for you, sir, is leading up to the Million Man March. What was it like, the spirit like, once you heard the minister make the announcement during the men's only meetings? What was that like, sir?
First and foremost, in the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, we give him praise, we give him honor, we thank him to us in the person of Master Farrakhan Muhammad. We thank you for the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, the exalted Christ, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and we thank them both for who we call the Messiah, not Mr. Day. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it's in their names that I'm most certainly humbled and honored to greet you, Brother Josh, and your beautiful listening audience, and all of those who tune in, friends, family, believers, and some haters. We want to greet you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, sir.
Brother, I have to do this business, get this business straight first. I want to say to you, Brother Joshua, before I get to answer your question, I was so inspired by your father when I sit there and listen to the great former Supreme Captain, my brother, my friend, and as he was telling the story of the Million Man March, the weight that was on his shoulders, as I'm thinking about it, was tremendous. If anyone know your father, Brother Sharieff, this dude is a perfectionist. And I want to say to your father, quickly, I thank him that we came under his command. It was under his command that he was able to move the mighty, mighty FOI and MGT under his command. So thank you, Brother Minister Sharieff. We are indebted to you and your loyalty and your commitment as the Supreme Captain in the overall protection of the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and that we can bear witness you did well. Thank you, Brother Sharieff. We would always, when we talk about OG and back in the day, and if we talk about war stories, Brother Sharieff, it can't be a war story. Let that war story was under your command. Now, if you want to accept that war story or not, but it was under your command, nevertheless. But nevertheless, let me get started, brother. Brother, you know, as I wanted to come on, Brother Josh, and I wanted to tell this story, in the Bible, you got 4 gospels. You got Luke, Mark, John, and Matthew.
Yes, sir.
These men walked with Jesus. And when you read about certain incidents or certain moments, certain events, they all 4 was there. But each one of them give a different perspective of that event.
Yes,
it ain't that the other disciple said was wrong. He just wasn't on that side of the building. He wasn't on the right side. He was on the left side. He hadn't got in the room yet. He wasn't at the table. He just walked through the door and went to the bathroom and missed that point. But we all give our little perspectives of what we've seen and what it had to do with us. So when you ask the question, how did it get started? Have to really, believers, every one of you was there. If you was there, you remember. I wish I could mention all of y'all's names, but I can't even remember yesterday, and I lived yesterday. But I try my best. Because trust me, every one of us played a role to make that day the greatest day on this planet. Every one of us. We had me and my dear brother, he called himself Pastor. He's always going to be my friend.
But Captain, you there? All right. Well, while we're waiting on Brother Captain to come on back in, thank you all who are watching the People's Podcast as we get this great primary source history from our brother, Brother Capt Dennis Muhammad, on the Million Man March.
Okay. All right.
Brother Captain, you there?
Yeah, I'm here now. I'm
yes,
sorry. I don't know what happened. But anyway, so when he clipped the sister, Lord, we was already fired up from the speech. He already tried to set the Madison Square Garden on fire. And that was the spark. And Lord, the fruit got busy and the fist got to flying. And, well, the rest is history. We barred from Madison Square Garden. The minister asked us, try to get the Yankee Stadium. So I never forget, me and Minister Conrad, we went and met with the man to get Yankee Stadium. He said, no. So the only place that was available was the Jacob Jarvis. But what they was asking for that place was unrealistic, brother. And when we said that to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, he said, get it. Well, we said, Brother Minister, they needed $115,000 straight up down payment. Get it, I said. I said, well, that's sad. He flew a brother that everybody know. He used to be called Brother Jack, but his name is Brother Wally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother Wally flew into New York with the cashier check. He didn't know what he had in his present. He did not know. He didn't look in the envelope. That was his job, was to deliver. I'm sure if he would have known what was in his hand, he probably would have been sweating bullets. But no, not Wally. He'd have handled that business. But when he came in, we had an army waiting for Brother Wally. Wally looked and said, my God, brother. But we knew he had something. When we delivered that and opened up, Wally seen them numbers. The devil didn't think we was going to deliver. When we got to Jacob Jarvis, the whole building, what they asked was underway. We, the believers in New York, we went to work, Josh, and we packed Jacob Jarvis with over 20 to 25,000 people. I think it was either 30 or 35. We packed. The minister was so pleased. And we was pleased too, boy. Oh man, when you bring the minister in your city, brother, oh my God, the work. Your father know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The man we used to say, we glad to see him come and we happy when he leaves. And now, don't nobody say that but the team. Boy, we glad to see him come, but we happy. Because, brother, the weight of his life on us is unbelievable because there's no room, Josh, for mistakes when it comes to the Messiah. There's no room for mistakes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we got to Jacob Jarvis. The minister was so pleased. He said at that, I would like to come back and do an all men's only meeting.
Mm.
And in this happened in October. And in January, we brought the minister back to the 369th Armory. And let me tell you, dear brother, the place could only hold 12,000, I think. I think with a Muslim shoehorn, we squeezed 15 in there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what was remarkable. We had a line about 5,000 to 10,000 that couldn't get in. The line, Josh, was so long, I can't make this up. If anybody knows 369th Armory is in Harlem, you'll see the 3rd Avenue Street Bridge. That line went all the way across the 3rd Avenue Street Bridge into the Bronx. You cross the 3rd Street Avenue Bridge, you in the Bronx. So I ain't never seen nothing like that before in my life. There was enough black men in that arena to make a Tarzan movie, brother. Look at that, man. You said, my God. When the minister, before he stepped out there, they was hollering, Farrakhan, Farrakhan, Farrakhan. I mean, it got louder and louder and louder. And that beautiful human being, when he stepped out there, he said, brothers, it's good that you say Farrakhan, but it's better if you say Allahu Akbar. And they start chatting, Allahu Akbar. I said, go on, brother minister. I was working, man, making sure, because I was the regional captain under Sharieff at the time. And so I was constantly moving around to make sure no drama break out. I was accosted at an exit by a female reporter. She tried to get in, and when I told her she couldn't come in, and she began to ask why. Why can't a woman come in? And what, this is very discriminatory. I said things, but they had me live on TV. I didn't know I was live. Thank God I didn't do what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, Allah, he's such a great God. The commander, the law enforcement chief, that's Cavelso. He's a very great friend of mine. He was over Manhattan North. And he had all of his officers. There was police everywhere. I said, Chief, you want to go inside and see? He got nervous. Like, am I allowed to go in? Oh, man, come on, man. Are you allowed to go in? You're the chief of police. I took that commander into that arena, took him backstage. He was so moved. He's the Hispanic commander. And what really moved him was before the minister began to speak, I said, Brother Minister, this is Chief Estevillas, this is the men that responsible. And he said, and the minister with his beautiful Kool-Aid smile. That man got a smile, boy, you couldn't take off with a lemon, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he said, thank you. And thank the men, Chief, under you for making this a safe event. See, I have to say that, Lockjaw, because people don't know the minister like that. And it's us to us to share with the world and share with the believers. And some already know he's like that. What kind of man is Minister Farrakhan? So I had to say that because I'm not going to lie, Josh. I try to duplicate that man's spirit to the best of my ability. I really do. So when he got out, after the end, listen here, people don't know this. After the end of the speech, brother, you know, they had to take the tape right quick, rush it, because we were duplicating it. And there's a time where they cut the tape off and they go to duplicate it. And a lot of things, like after the prayer, whatever, they did cut the tape. But the minister was going to leave, but he came back to the mic. And the minister said, you know what? I would like to take 1 million men to Washington, D.C. And the man just, I mean, and that's where you heard the minister said it left his mouth, but he couldn't call it back. And when he said that, right after, and brother, all of those of us on the F team, we are bear witness. We got busy to go around the country and do all men only meetings to prep them for that great day, October the 16th, 1995. And so we immediately rolled up our sleeve. And man, we had men only meetings in New York, manhood training. And as your father said this, not bear witness, the largest men only meeting that we had today prior to the Million Man March come out of Houston, Texas.
Yes, sir.
The great command of Brother Khalil Muhammad and his brother Halim. Now, I'm a military man, and Brother Minister Sharieff has jumped over in the minister's side of the fence. He always going to boost the minister.
Yes, sir.
But if he put his captain's hat on, he don't nothing get happen until it's by the captain.
Yes, sir.
All that sound good, yeah. But they call us make it happen captains.
Yes, sir.
And our brother Khalil, if you're watching this, man, ain't nobody, your jerseys is still in the Raptors, son.
Yes,
ain't nobody replace your jersey. Nevertheless, so that was it, Brother Joshua. We went from there, and we went from city to city to get prepped for the one. And let me tell you something. It was the first time when I heard, and I want to say this, Minister Ishmael did such a fantastic job Sunday. Now I'm gonna be honest. They say I got to keep it fuck. See, we don't say keep it 100 no more, Josh. That's old. We say keep it fuck.
Yes,
that
sir.
means, you know what I'm saying? So when you hear us say keep it Messiah, I'm gonna say, look, I want to keep it Messiah. That means let me keep it 100.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
Messiah with you. I'm a little biased. I don't think nobody, and I still feel that way because I'll talk to the minister and giving any speech. But I truly thought that day should have been afforded to the minister. Okay, that's my thing. But the Holy Quran says Allah knows best where to place his message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the minister knows best where to place his message. And he did a wonderful job. And I mean, he said something for the first time I found out. He said that the minister wanted October the 7th. I didn't know that. I didn't know he wanted the messenger's birthday for the Million Man March. But it was not available. But the 16th was. That was my first time knowing that. And I said, wow. So sometimes many things that we don't know, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan and many around him tell their story and it unfolds of some things. But I wanted to say to everyone, I hope in these minutes that I'm here, that I don't waste your time glorifying and being braggadocious about any role that Brother Dennis played. I had asked Allah to keep me humble today because I don't want me to shine. I want the minister to shine, but I also want every believer that played a role to get their proper due too. I just wanted to say that. Now, any other questions, my brother?
Yes, sir. Beautiful job, Captain. I just want to let you know people are showing you love all around the world. Walaikum salam, Johnson Bailey. Walaikum salam, Sister Miriam. Walaikum salam, Sister Naima. And thank you all who are saying assalamu alaikum to myself and the people in the comments as well. Walaikum salam, Sister Rose X Morris, along with the Spirit of the May Man March. And thank you to our YouTube family, Sister Auntie, Brother Kente, Brother Musa out of New York, and all the people who continue to show love, Sister Nia, all the people who show love on YouTube as well. My next question for you, Brother Captain, is the political figures, what was their role as far as in the councilmen, the politicians, the mayors, everyone's role inside of New York, the East Coast, but also in Washington, D.C., in helping to make the May Man March successful?
Man, I want to get, you get this old senior citizen moment, but I wanted to say to your sisters, I ain't seen them in a while. I know they've grown up now, but I want to give your family also, man, and Shadi, all of them, my love, man. Y'all family, man. Y'all family. Now, we could not do this, Joshua, without political figures. Man Barry was a political figure. His love and respect that he had for the Honorable Minister Farrakhan made it easy for him to open up the city that we may be able to have the march. There were a lot of behind the scene. Joe Sertine, he passed not too long ago, maybe a year, out of Philadelphia. There's many, Brother Mark, Reverend Mark, you can't forget the great Willie Wilson. We stayed in this church. In other words, we just took over the great Willie Wilson church. You cannot ignore the main co-convener, and I want to give a shout out to Ben Chambers. He was his right-hand man on this thing. He was straight co-convener. He brought so many people to the table. We had a lot of political people in all those other cities that endorsed it. And that political endorsement in those cities meant a lot because that helped bring those people in those cities to the march. We had big, great national, we had national figures. I mean, they was down, man. And there was, and not only the political people, but the hip hop community showed up and showed out. They showed up and showed out. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna cry 2 or 3 times for the shoulder, which y'all don't trip out. I got my glasses on, okay? It's not because I'm gonna cry with that too. But as I said to Brother Josh, your brother is been battling health issues, as y'all know, and I take quite a bit of medicine. Really, really, I do. And my eyes, they look very sick. And I don't like how they look. It's not me. So I'm wearing the glasses, not that I'm trying to be cool. Well, yeah, a little bit. I am trying to be a little cool now. I ain't gonna lie with you now. But basically, I don't want you to see these sick eyes, man. Now, the messenger and the minister will, man, this medicine, well, that's another story. But nevertheless, the hip hop community showed up and showed out, and the political people, and they there's another brother. I can't think. If brother Ernest was watching this, and let me tell you, man, now Ernest had a big responsibility too. Now, hey, he won. Oh Lord, he won. Had a big responsibility. He was over transportation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You did a great job, he won. I ain't gonna lie, Brother Ernest. Anybody know Brother Ernest? He did a good. But Brother Ernest, what was the brother's name? One of the people that was with Mayor Barron, and maybe Supreme, Brother Sharieff, no. He also helped organize. I'm trying to remember his name, but it me down the road. But they played a role, Josh, to help us to organize to make that a wonderful day.
Beautiful. All praises to Allah. Thank you, people who are showing love. Continue to show love to Brother Captain Dennis. Assalamu alaikum. To Brother Jalil. Alaikum salam, sir. Thank you, everyone who's watching all around the world. My next question for you, sir, is the fear factor. You're headed to the Million Man March. There is a bulletproof, apparatus there the day of, but touring leading up to that, and you all received all kind of animosity from many members of different communities, external as well as internal. And were you ever nervous about the protection of the minister, leading up to that day and on that day, as well as yourself for the major figure that you were and are? Were you nervous for yourself as well as the life of the minister?
Well, let me I got this on. I'm playing. I want to tell everybody, keep our brother, student minister Jamil, your brother-in-law, your father, uncle, in prayer. He just had got out of surgery some days ago. Y'all didn't know that, but Allah spared his life too, like he did mine. Get well, brother minister Jamil. Just do what the doctors tell you to. No, do what your wife tell you to do. I know you're a little hard-headed, partner. You're a little hard-headed, all right? And sister, keep that man from them sweets. Whatever you do, keep him from sweets. My wife looked at me like crazy. She said, I got to keep you from the sweet. But she looked at me 14 came crazy.
Yes, sir.
You need to tell yourself that. But nevertheless, brother. So I want to say that bulletproof shield, I didn't know this until I talked to Minister Wali Allah, formerly known as Minister Yu. It was the West Coast. He put that bulletproof shield up. He did, not only did he do that one, but he also did the one in New York. Now, that was not my detail. And when he got to talking about the thickness of that shield and how heavy it was and the cost of I didn't know. The one in New York, he said, was better than the one at the Million Man March. But because he put that shield up, he was wore out. And the day of, because they put the shield up all up through the night, he was waiting to come to the village with the on the detail and fell asleep. He had the door open. Any one of us on the MC, we know, man, with his life, that 1 second, man, we used to be the minister ready to go, right? All of a sudden you said, man, let me dip in the bathroom, hurry up and do this and dip back out, right? Oh, I can't tell you how many dips I made, brother, and the hallway's clear. I come, and you hear the elevator. You see the brother, they just went down. Oh, man. And the minister, he moves with swiftness, man. Look at Sharieff, the minister don't wait for nobody.
Yes.
He for us. He ain't the kind of man, y'all ready? Okay, I'll wait for you. No. Listen, ask your father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We sleep in jogging outfits. I want to let y'all know. We don't wear pajamas. We sleep in jogging outfits. Anytime the minister come through that door, ain't no putting this on, getting this put on, got to put this on. We are ready, man. But the minister take great pride in always standing over us while we snoring. But nevertheless, so Brother Minister Wali Allah did not get there. Then he said when he got there, he couldn't get in the back. He didn't have his credentials. So he ain't a happy camper pot. The Million Man Marker, there ain't one picture of him. But it was under Brother Minister Wali Allah. He was the West Coast regional captain. And West Coast, they had the whole back to the monument. From their job was the monument. But March kind of petered out, going back to the monument, start fading. It didn't go all the way back to the monument with thick crowd, but it started fading. But that was under the great command of Brother Wali Allah. Thank you, Brother Minister. You did a great job. I know you didn't get no pictures taken that day, but we know you was there because that bulletproof vest, that bulletproof shield, you did that. And the brothers, Brother Bashir, who helped you, and a couple other brothers. Y'all, thank y'all, brothers. Those brothers who built that bulletproof shield worked. Thank y'all. I'm trying to remember everybody I can remember.
Yes, sir.
But that was it, the hip hop, the political community. The ingredients. It was a gumbo. That soup that the minister made, that was what we call a Cajun gumbo. We had everything. We had everything in that pot, brother. And the preachers. Ooh, for some reason, that was the worry of the minister. The minister is a man of God. He loves the preacher. I know this, man. He loved the word of God. And the minister wanted Josh to get the preachers on board. So they reached out. He reached out to Reverend Jackson. The Reverend at the time was avoiding, we believe, that's what we believe, the minister's call. All right. And when we say we're going to tell this untold story, I'm going to put that on hold and put a pin on that.
Okay.
The fear factor. Fear was not a factor with us. We have moved the minister around the world. You hear me? Around the world. And fear was never a factor. I'm not no student, Brother Josh, of flying. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't sit there, I get on a plane, and I can feel so comfortable. I don't know why, but no money, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But when the minister's on the plane, man, I ain't got no fear, man. Look, I could go to sleep. Listen, that's the truth. And if I can't remember, there's some members of the E team may look at this and F team. I don't remember the minister ever missing a flight. Listen, dude, truth. When we got to get into the airport, and I'm looking at, I said, we ain't gonna make it. But for some godly reason, we make it. We got a brother on the E team. We call him Jay Bird. Some of us call him Paulie for a reason. I ain't gonna tell you why we call him Paulie anyway. That dude, Jay Bird, he can drive that vehicle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we behind him on the detail, we like this. We in and out, but then he hit that side where you ain't supposed to be on that side.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, look at we rolling up on that side. Cars looking at, then you got the trail cars. They so close to the other cars, they can reach out their hand and hit the other car. Move over, doggone it. Move over. People looking like that. Hey, man, the E.T., boy. Oh, God, y'all fellas, and we get to minister there. So help me, Allah, right on time. I just want to say that. You got
yes,
me.
sir.
The believers want to know about the Messiah. I'm trying to tell them about y'all's man, believers. Man. So we know that he wanted to preach us, Josh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's been reaching out to. He got some come on board. Someone came on board, Reverend Bevo, He had some preachers come on board, but he didn't have the big boys. Jesse was one of the big boys. T.D. Jakes was one of the big boys. See them, the big boys. He didn't have the big boys on board. He had some of them that was near the top, but they wasn't the ones. And so it was really, the climate was very hostile. All the Jews was doing that thing. They was trying to say that Farrakhan was going to preach Islam and, oh man, and they beat the minister up in the press so bad, man. 6 months they beat him up. And, the minister being the humble man that he is, he took him, man. He took the blows, he was blocking some of them, couple of them he took on the chin, man, but he kept the fight to the center of the ring. They never had him on the ropes. And when they did, he did the rope and dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But Jesse was one of his main men. Now, let me tell this story, and I have to say it, not that I'm proud with arrogance, because the minister showed me what I could have caused from me doing something without his permission, taking things into my own hands. As the F team would say, they call me force it to the table Dennis. I'm known for sports. I was known to force stuff to the table, Josh, but I now realize my mother didn't give me the name Dennis for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That name Dennis makes sense. Dennis the Menace. But anyway. So anyway, Josh, so I'm in New York. I'm driving in my car and I hear Reverend Jackson and Reverend Sharieff. They on Hotep Gary Bird show. Gary Bird's one of the known Black personality, radio personality in New York. And I heard Gary Bird ask Reverend Jackson and Sharieff, they said, are you going to go to the Million Man March? I heard Reverend Jackson say these words, so help me God, out of his mouth. He said, why should I go to atone? For what? I ain't never cheated on my wife or nothing. Now, I don't know why he chose to say that. Because, he could have said, I don't do nothing wrong, but I don't know why he chose to do that. But history proving he didn't tell the truth. Okay, anyway, let's move past that. I was upset, Josh. I'm not going to lie. I was upset because Muslims, and you asked your father the question in 1984, when Reverend Jackson went to run for the president of the United States, under your father, he didn't know about this. No, we went under him. He was a regional then. But they would not give Jesse Secret Service as a serious candidate, right?
Yes, sir.
There was lives on his life. And so the minister gave an order for all FOI, wherever Reverend Jackson was at, to protect him. And myself, anywhere he was in New York, we put soldiers on it. The minister got in trouble with the Jews because of his defense to this day. This what got it started. It was the minister's defense of Jesse that got the minister in trouble to this day. And then when Jesse repudiated the minister, man, coming back from Cuba on the Sandy Freeman show. If y'all know what go look it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sandy Freeman report. The minister was on that show. And it was on that show when the Senate vetoed to sanction the minister. I think 94-0, if I'm not remember, forget. She stood there with a piece of paper, real nervous. The cameras moved in on the minute. Moved in on a minute. That's what you talked about, the Senate. And Lord, with that woman mentioned the Senate, I seen the minister sit up. Those of us were with the minister. When he sit up, I said, oh, here we go. And the minister, he said, that paper that is written on, the Senate ain't worth the paper that is written on. And he talked about Chris Adams, and oh man, anyway. And then she says, well, what do you think about your friend Reverend Jackson repudiating you? Now, the minister did not know that Jesse made a statement coming from Cuba.
Mm.
Look at the minister's words, Josh. Oh, I love that man. He said, well, I don't know if my brother did such, but if he did. And his repudiation against me will get him to the Democratic convention that he so earnestly earned. And that's a repudiation I would accept. I said, God Almighty, what kind of man is this man, Farrakhan? Took the stick right out of this chick's hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I said, and I'm saying to myself, and I'm following this man. Well, when I heard Jesse say he wasn't coming, I had a flashback. And my thought was, man, the leader took a hit for you. And you can't go Million Man March. And I was upset. I'm at the mosque that Sunday. I get the meeting's over with. I'm looking at, we had at least about 100 FOI, at least 100. Now I'm talking, I had a whole back meeting with the fruit. As I'm talking to them, Josh, a brother handed me a note. The note says, Minister Conrad wants you to come over to Sylvia's and join him at a dinner with Reverend Sharieff and Reverend Jackson. I said, oh, snap, crackle, pop. Now, Conrad had no clue. Conrad had no clue what I was about to do. He had no clue. I said, look here, soldiers, I'm talking to 100 men. We're going over to Sylvia's. Reverend Jackson is going to be coming over there. And he said he wasn't coming to the Million Man March. And I want us to give him a cold-blooded, silent welcome. Don't say nothing, don't do nothing, just put the grit on it. Mean mugging. So I goes over to Sylvia. Y'all, this is a true story now. Anybody tell you a story after they lying to you. I goes over to Sylvia's and I tell Conrad what my tip was. Conrad looked at me. He said, are you out your mind? You crazy. By that time he looked out the window, he seen all those soldiers assembled in the front. He knew I wasn't playing. He's trying to talk me out of it, right? You know, I had that captain swear. So a brother soldier pulls up, comes in, he said, Captain, they pulled up. Conrad said, Captain, don't do this. Don't do this. Shoot, I was determined, man. And man, The first person that got out the limo was Reverend Sharieff, right? Reverend Sharieff see all the soldiers, but he kind of tell it wasn't no, I'm happy to see you kind of look. So by the time I came out the door of Sylvia's, just Sharieff was coming in and he said to me, Captain, I said, I need to talk to you, Rev. I didn't shake his hand. So here comes Jesse. Jesse thought he looking, the brothers turned their back on him, so he fell in the bag. He comes and he puts his hand out. Captain, I don't shake his hand. He goes to take a seat, but I'm talking to Reverend Sharieff. Listen to me. I said to Reverend Sharieff, this God is my witness. I said, Reverend, if you ain't got nothing good to say about the Million Man March, don't say nothing. Reverend Sharieff, if you listen, he'll tell you, Captain, I'm going to be, I ain't saying nothing. In the meantime, Jesse gets back from where he was at. He comes over. I'm sitting in front of Reverend Sharieff. He puts his hand down again, like, shake my hand, Captain. I look at his hand. Look at him, look at his hand, and I turn my attention back to Reverend Sharieff because I want Jesse to hear this part. So I'm getting a little louder now. So I said, I'm going to say that again, Rev. I want him to hear this. You ain't got nothing good to say about the Million Man March. Don't say nothing at all. Jesse goes back and he gets hold of Mrs. Woods of Sylvia's, not knowing we do the security for Sylvia's. He goes to complain. Miss Wood like, look at this, the nation, man. How they do my security. He goes to complain he don't feel safe. Brother, he's not with us now. His name is Carl Redding. He was the chef of Amy Roof. He used to be Sharpton's driver. He transitioned about a year ago. Oh, a great friend. His name was Carl. Carl runs up to me and he says to me, Captain, you can't talk about the Reverend like that. And then I said something that I regret to this day. But he didn't have to say to Jesse. I said to Carl. I said, he lucky I don't kick his butt up in here. He goes back and tell Jesse that. Sharpton comes back to me, Captain, the Reverend Spirit was, you're not going to do nothing to me. I said, no. He said, he wants to leave. He want to leave, Captain. Can he leave? I said, yeah, he can leave. But he got to go back through that gauntlet again, you know what I'm saying? He got to walk, you know. And man, Reverend Sharieff walked through that gauntlet, man, got in the car, took off, and man, Allah Akbar. But I had no clue, Josh, that the next day, I was going to get the worst lashing from the minister I ever got in my Muslim life. Celebrating a victory. But the next day, Josh, your father knew this one. I get a phone call. I'm at the mosque. And he says, Brother Dennis? I said, yes. Brother Conrad, you on the line? Yes. Then they mentioned somebody else. I'm not going to mention their name. He said, all right, Brother Minister? Yes, sir. Brother Minister, and I can tell you how he said it. He said, oh, God, it cuts every time I tell this story, boy. When you get see, there's some butt whoopers you'll never forget, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He said to me, he said, Brother Dennis, Reverend Jackson called me last night and said that he was in New York and that the Muslims had threatened him. And he's telling all of the preachers, and they are pulling out of the Million Man March. I said, oh, God, man, what did I do? Now, brother, what happened? And then Conrad jumped in. Well, Brother Minister already told you he was always off to say, shut up, Conrad. That's what he said. Shut up, Conrad. Now tell me. Conrad was looking for the opportunity to put a dig on me, man, because we was badly, you know. Sharieff know we had battles back then, ministers and the captain's battles. So I said, well, brother minister, I told the minister the story. And I said, brother minister, we never put our hands on him. And I never said nothing to Reverend Jackson, which I never did. I just didn't shake his hand. I said, brother minister, it was a silent protest. He said, brother, the devil could shut and pop Jesse and lay it at our doorstep.
Mm.
And we will be living the Malcolm era again. I said, oh, now I'm sinking in the chair. It's getting worse, man. I'm like,
you see.
Now I'm laying myself at the mercy of the court. Please, man. I want to live. I said, please, Brother Benson, what you want me to do? I resign. I quit. I do a press conference. I said, and the minister got real calm. He said, well, no, brother, you ain't got to do all that. Then he said something to the person on the phone. He said, well, it did force Jesse to call me. And he said, brother, I'll get back to you. And he got back to me. And I had to go to Chicago, Illinois and apologize. I went to a meeting at, I forgot that reverend's name, Martin Luther King's reverend. It wasn't Franklin, it was, it'll come to me. But he had a big church, minister loved him. And all of the preachers, Joseph, Lowry, Bishop, all of them was there, Jesse, and Al Sims, all of them was there. And I said, oh God, the minister brother, just tell the story. So I'm sitting there, and it's a closed meeting. Now, Jesse's son, Jonathan, had put the word out. He wanted to see the guy that threatened his father. So he was in the room looking at me crazy, right? That's all he could have did, look at me crazy. Anyway, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all forgive me. Hey, listen, family, I'm on a lot of medication. Not this stuff you can strike from around. I'm on a heavy medication right now. So anything come out of cancer. It's that new blood pressure medicine they got me on. Brother, I told the story and I apologize. I apologize to Reverend Jackson. I apologize to Sharpton. And first and foremost, I apologize to the minister. And after I apologized to Reverend Sharpton, he said these words. Because I told Sharpton, Jesse, why I did. I remind him that he had repudiated the minister. I remind him at this meeting, and we was hurt on that repute. I mentioned that. If he didn't know, I got that off my chest. He said these words. He said, Brother Dennis, I too have been insulted by a member of the Nation of Islam, Brother Khalid. I said, oh God, no. Khalid used to call Jesse Green Eggs M.I.M. and Messy Jesse, Sharpton, Lord. I mean, Khalid was there for Jesse, man. And then Jesse went to tell his relationship with the minister. And then Jesse said, I accept your apology. But when the minister started speaking, I thought I got past the butt whooping. But the minister come to see how he don't condone that behavior under anyone under him. And the minister he whooped me, Brother Josh, but he whooped me with a feather. And then, of course, they went to another business, and that's when this dude was a comedian. They brought that up. There was a comedian that talked about he loved pork so much, he spit the neck bone, the pork bone in Farrakhan's face, and that comedian was doing a live on Bob, wherever they got it on BT, Bob Johnson's show.
Yes, sir.
And the boy got whooped up when he said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's all he said. The boy got whooped up when he said that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All praise due to Allah.
That was brought up. Jesse brought it up that Bob Johnson had a problem, Farrakhan, that your guys beat up one of his comedians, I'm sitting there now. So the minister says, well, brother, I looked into that. Can I tell the story? Can I tell the story, John?
Of course, of course.
The minister said, I looked in that. And when I looked at the video of him saying what he said, that he liked pork so much that he had spit the bone in Farrakhan, he said, brother, he didn't offend me. He offended 1 billion Muslims. He said these 2 words. He told the joke. This is what the joke started off. Mike Tyson had just got out of jail and he had became a Muslim. So this comedian is telling a joke, Josh. So the comedian says, can you imagine Mike a Muslim? Quran in one hand and a Playboy magazine in the other? Beating it, saying Allah. I mean, what he said, brother, that was, the minister said that would get that man killed. But look at the man, I'm going to say what the minister said. He said, there's a man in hiding to this day, Solomon Rushdie, that made a hint of disrespect of the prophet, and he's still in hiding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They finally got him. They didn't kill him, but they got him. If you remember that, not too long ago, they got my man. Stabbed him up pretty bad, but he lived. He got comfortable, thought it was safe to come out. Miami, the marathon man is safe. It wasn't safe for you, partner. But anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the minister said these words to the preachers there. He would have had put the threat on him and his whole family. And what he said, he needed, I ain't gonna say what the minute, but I'm gonna say he needed his butt whooped and the brothers beat his butt. That was that. And the preacher said, shoot, I like what Farrakhan said, he'd have talked about my God, we'd have did the same. And they said, let's move on. They took Reverend Jackson to another meeting where we happened to just sit in the room while the Christians was talking to Reverend Jackson. I'm not going to get into that. But it was in that meeting, Dorothy Tillman, councilwoman, came hard on Jesse. She said, Reverend, when you ran for the presidency, Farrakhan was with you. Now it's time for you to be with Farrakhan. And in that room, so help me, oh Lord, Jesse endorsed the Million Man March. And the rest is history. And when he came to speak to the minister, and the minister told his story, Reverend, I can't put a time on you. That's the love he had for Reverend Jackson. And as Reverend Jackson was coming out of the Capitol building to go to the podium, he passed me. And I went to shake his hand, and he pulled his hand and he pulled it back on me and kept walking. I said, you son. That's the truth. That Jesse, I went to shake his hand, Jesse pulled the hand back on me, man. And he looked at me, and dude, he said, I called that the New York diss. Cold-blooded. And Jesse DeLay. Now, that's behind the scenes, family, and I'm through with that. Any other things you like that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have quite a few questions as well as comments, and we want to thank you and salute you, Brother Captain, for your hard work and all of the sacrifices, the many sacrifices you've made to help establish Islam here in North America. Thank Allah for your family. May Allah continue to bless you and your family. And thank you for this great history of knowing behind the scenes of the Million Man March. 1 second. Here we go. All right. And the comments are showing you nothing but love. People saying thank you very much. My sister Naima says great history. Thank you very much. Walaikum salam to everyone who says who's giving the greetings to everyone on the platform. Thank you very much to everyone who are watching all around the world. Brother Captain, we have a quick 60-second commercial for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast. We are grateful for every donation, every cash app. Please, $sign the People's Podcast. Brother Captain, someone's asked, they said you didn't say who the comedian was. Is he still living?
He's out of the comedy business, but
okay, so he's not, he's out of the business. Okay, yes, sir.
He wasn't a famous comedian.
Oh, okay, okay.
He was a comedian trying to make his bones. I think he got out of the comedy business right after that situation. I mean, look at it. It's almost like, let me put it like this. He did not know in the audience was the Supreme Captain, Supreme Captain at that time, Mustafa. Mustafa was sitting in the audience. This dude didn't know that. And when he made a statement with the minister's name, and he on the West Coast, I can only tell you, shout out to Shaheed's son. If you read between the lines, Shaheed's son, all right, you want to know what your pops, Shaheed's son, and my nephew Assad, Assad be lifting, be lifting.
Oh, yes, sir.
We know the lineage he come from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But they were the men that was angels that day. But nevertheless,
due to Allah.
That was the end of that story.
Beautiful, yes, sir. Shout out to the great Cap Shaheed, as well as now he's a minister, Abdul Aziz, but formerly Brother Captain William. Shout out to him as well. Yes, sir. And people are saying, going off, all praise due to Allah, and bear witness and give you nothing but love, Brother Captain. And we're going to talk about the Peacekeepers coming up as well. One moment after we get back from the commercial break of all of the sponsors.
Yes, sir.
Television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All three available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Rashad Muhammad's COVID-19 Disinfected Cleaning Services, out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharieff Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharieff.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon.
Thank you all very much. And we also a special shout out to our sister Sherry Muhammad with Asiatic Minds. Please enroll your children in Asiatic Minds. They teach STEM virtually to young kings and queens all around the world. Please enroll your child or young children into AsiaticMinds.com, AsiaticMinds.com. Thank you very much, Sister Sherry. Okay, yes, sir. But the Captain, speaking of my father's book, as well as mine, both available on Amazon, will you ever write a book, sir?
Well, man, I got to get in the line all these book writers, man. I never was known to take good notes. Let's go write a book.
Yes, sir.
But many people ask me, would you write a book? I can't write a book if I'm still telling the story. When there's an end, I can sit back and write a book. I'm not finished. I'm not going to start something, man. I'm not finished. When D gets finished, y'all, when I'm sitting up here, man, and I done threw the towel in for real, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to write the book because I got a period. But man, Allah not through with me. Oh man, I'm gonna write a book to be continued. To be continued. When you gonna do 2? When you gonna do 3? When you gonna do 4? No. And some things, it just is not for the book. But I want to tell you, Brother Sharieff, he's a gospel. Brother Akil, he's a gospel. Mustafa is a gospel. Brother Waliyah is a gospel. Khalil is a gospel. Curtis is a gospel. These are gospels. You got 4 gospels in the Bible of 4 men that walked with the Messiah. What about 7 gospels? 7 men that walked with the Messiah. There got to be a book called Sharieff, Dennis, Akil, blah, 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 you know. The nation's gospels, the chronicles of the nation. There's chapters of believers in that gospel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, you know, that's what, we ain't writing a book. It ain't a book. It's testifying, not of myself. Most of the time you write a book, 70% is about you. Then it's 25% is about the minister. Now, I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying, when people write books,
yes, sir,
they spend a lot of time telling about, you know, when I grew up in a little town in Ohio. I don't waste no time telling how I grew up and my father was a sharecropper. My time don't stop when I come out the womb of my mother. My time came to life when I joined the Nation of Islam. Start ticking. Anything prior to that, man, that ain't even worthy writing that down. That's a dead man. All of that don't mean nothing. So you writers of books, I don't want to hear. I don't want to read half of the book talking about your life. If you was dead prior to the Nation of Islam, leave that part out. Start your book off coming in the Nation of Islam. That's the life that I want to read about. All that I did 30 years flat in the penitentiary. See, we used to walk the yard, brother. See, when we was brother. See, I look at here, man. I used to be the biggest dog. You see what I'm saying? How that medicine got me, Josh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you, Brother Captain. People showing you love all around the world. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Nelson. Thank you very much, Brother Todd Henson as well. And Brother, you know, people had different names on Facebook, but this brother, I'm assuming his name Brother Lion. But thank you, Brother Jalil. He said the Peacekeepers in Flint, Michigan chapter is on the move and establishing to squash the beef before the Grief Conflict Resolution Center. Praise be to Allah. And thank you everyone who's showing love. The Brother Lion wants to know, Brother Captain, can you talk about when Solomon said that he was going to come and take Mas Mariam?
Well, you know, FOI Fruit of Islam, those of you, I'm talking to the old school, OGs. I'm talking to all them FOI that helped the minister to reestablish the Nation of Islam and the business we had to take care of reestablishment. Much I can't talk about. I want to let every soldier that had been a part of that era, that may not be active, listen to me. You may not be in the mosque, and you may be out the mosque, but you are not out the nation. I want to say that again. You may be out the mosque, but you're not out the nation. Do not associate with those in bad standing and out the mosque. It didn't say the nation.
Mm-hmm.
The restricted law never said nation. Do not associate with those in bad standing or out the mosque. It never said nation.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Allah came for a nation, not a mosque. So I just want to say that. But if you smart, you get your butt back in the mosque. I'm not advocating you staying out. Now, don't get that twisted. Don't get it twisted. Get your behind back in this work, man. Please, believer, get back in the work. And I want to say, brother, it was always, as that brother talked about, we have to understand there was those who said they were not going to establish. It wasn't just Solomon. He came on a tail end. That's what he wanted to do. Imam Wafdi Muhammad said that he did not want the minister to establish Islam in Chicago. It was Imam. Solomon, but he didn't have no soldiers. No Chief Solomon, he didn't do that, had no soldiers. There was two people that had soldiers, the Imam and Silas. All right? The Imam and Silas. Silas wasn't messing with us. Silas wasn't trying to stop the minister. He just was trying to claim the throne, that's all. But the Imam at that time did. And unfortunate as it may be, we thank Allah that we were able to get everything back, but it was with a cost. But at the end of the Imam life tenure, he joined and the minister joined and brought those two to one. So we thank Allah for the Imam community that we have. Shout out to the Imam community, to my Muslim brothers, that's member of the Imam. We love you. And you know well as I know, y'all never gave up y'all FY card. You never gave up your FY card. Keep it with you now. It's always good. There's no expiration on that FY and MGT card. I just want to let y'all know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I want them. There's no expiration on that.
Yes, sir.
They NOI, FY for life. So I'm just letting y'all know that. I don't care which set you claim. I don't care which set you claim. We know who trained you. That's all I got to say.
Yes, sir. Beautiful, brother Captain. But yes, sir. So, but you didn't say what happened. So it was just they were trying to take the mosque, or didn't want y'all to get the mosque?
No. It wasn't that they was trying to take it, but there was a lot of confrontation in the streets as we were selling the Final Call newspaper in the early days, and it was just a lot of confrontation. Savior's Day. Remember now, we would go and put up posters of the minister announcing Savior's Day. They would come behind us and tear the posters down, mark them up. So we had a bat squad. So, okay, we had a bat squad, all right? If you got caught, Lord, if you got caught. Lord, if you got caught taking down the minister's posters while we had that night squad out there, I feel sorry for you.
All praise is due to Allah.
But we established it. That's it. And, and Allah bless us that the minister now is the last man standing.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. All praise due to Allah. And people are showing you love all around the world. Excellent. Okay, I wanted to ask you, 1 second. We have so many comments and questions. Oh, the importance of the media that was positive in promoting the Million Man March and helping the minister get the word out and helping the local ministers, regional ministers spread the word. How was that like for people who were showing love as far as in the media to the Million Man March before the day of the Million Man March?
Hey man, we had, listen, Black radio. Oh, Black radio was strong back then. Now we had in New York, we had OTEP, Gary Bird, but don't forget now, we had the great Bob Laws.
Yes, sir.
Now, I don't know, Bob, you listening, but Bob Law, y'all heard him in Madison Square Garden. He threw up that black fist, talking about if you mess with him, he threw that black fist, and that was drop the mic moment. That was called drop the, I think he maybe was the first one to drop the mic. He didn't drop the mic, but that black fist represent, I'm out of here. But anyway, black radio, black TV was strong. We had Rock Newman. I mean, the minister had, my brother in Chicago, the minister always on his show. We have brother, the great late Munir, Crow, the great late Munir. We didn't have the internet, as Sharieff said, we didn't have social media. We had Nextel beepers. We were working on Nextel beepers, boy. But man, word of mouth was unbelievable, brother. I think that's the best advertisement that black folks have. And let me tell you something, Josh. That word of mouth works today. Even though we have social media that helps promote it. Let's say it. Let's keep it Farrakhan. Let's keep it Messiah. Negroes love to run their mouth, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, look at Josh. All you got to say to our people is, look at between me and you, partner. Let's go no further. Between me and you. Yes, and they be saying between me and you, and the man, I'm getting ready to say the next thing too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't want black folks to tell nothing, tell them don't tell. What's next, Josh? What's next? You got me going now, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, bro, Captain. I also wanted to make sure that we asked about the training of the young men all around who are lacking a strong male figure in their home, in their school system, maybe in religion, just anywhere. And the mothers are crying out, the sisters are crying out, looking for that type of leadership to see the type of masculinity and God power that was being shown at the Million Man March, that was being shown when they see the men, the FOY, standing there, the people in the community putting their fists up, 1 million strong, this and that. How can we recapture that for the young men and boys who are growing up in 2023?
Oh, Allah, thank you, Brother Joshua. That was one of my mind slipped because I have to tie in what was the purpose. We celebrating the event, but when the minister tells the story of what was the reason, the inspiration, was because we were in such a condition in 1995 in the hood. Well, look at here, Josh. We worse than we were 28 years ago. We worse, brother. We can celebrate of the past. There's a saying that goes like this. You will repeat the past. You fail to condemn. When you don't change the past, you condemn to repeat it. So those who fail to change the past, you are condemned to repeat it. Josh, repeated past, not good past. When somebody said we repeating the 60s, that's not good. Because we failed. We failed to change something, man. We took a moment that shocked all of us. So the minister said it and out of his mouth. He didn't know that it would be a me. He really didn't. He said that. But God gave that man a victory. But don't let us become distracted celebrating a 28-year victory. When God is telling us today He's charging us today that we must not have another million-man march. No, you can never have that. That can never, ever, ever, never be repeated. Put it in the archives, leave it there. Because you can't duplicate it. But the minister in D.C. and his last words was, I call for 10,000 fearless. What happened to that? Your father heard that call. I heard that call. Right now, Josh, right now, they're trying to get the National Guards in Washington, D.C., even as we speak. I've been on a phone conversation with several people in the last 3 days. It's the truth. They want to bring me into D.C. With the peacekeepers. But this is bigger than the peacekeepers. They are looking at bringing the National Guard, and I'm talking to the individuals, the councilmen, the people that's calling for that. I'm saying, hold tight, hold it. Give us a chance before you call the National Guard. The councilman called. He one of the council. He's a Muslim, just took shahada. He called the imams community, the other Muslim community, because he knew that the Muslims patrol Mayfair Mansion, but he didn't know there were 2 sets of Muslims. So he called them, thinking it was us, but he didn't know it was them. But the imam knew. The imam said, no, that was the nation that did Mayfair Mansion. But I could get one of the brothers on the line. And so when me and the great Imam Sharieff, beautiful brother, now we can talk of the great work that Sharieff did, Brother Sharieff, because the Imam's name is Sharieff too, but your father and what they did with Mayfair Mansion. But here's the problem, Brother former Supreme Captain. We got caught up in the money game. Oh, the money was sweet as bear meat. Ain't no question about that. Poor starving, what we was eating, man. But we never secured our people for money. That's what kept us independent. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan said these words, Josh. You can never protect what you don't control. If you don't control the Black community, you can never protect them. So we had control of the community because they loved the minister and the great work that you believers in Washington, D.C. did on stay and being a soldier for the Honorable Minister. Thank you, D.C. Dr. Ali, all y'all. I ain't even got time to name all the old schools in D.C.
Yes, sir.
You did a great job. And Allah ain't finished with y'all yet. He ain't finished with y'all, D.C. And I'm talking to you too, Tim. Where we gonna go without you, Brother Tim? I don't know, maybe you got one of them long Muslim names. I don't know, people got names. Sheikh, Jamani, Tim, Asa, I don't know what your name. And your beautiful wife. Now, what am I saying? Here we are, Josh, on your show. I want to take this opportunity if my father is bold. He put faith in that God. And that God made his word bond. Do we still believe in the same God? If Brother Dennis was to go to D.C. and organize for 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30, maybe we get 500. I don't know. It ain't about me. We got an opportunity, man, to do it again, but not on that level. We don't need them calling in National Guards in D.C. You can't tell me if we went into D.C. and called for 20,000 men to action, 10,000. You can't tell me they won't show up. So we ask the politicians in D.C., give us the venue we need. We don't need the mall. Give us the convention center. Give us a ball stadium. You politicians, give us a venue. And we're not going to give a speech. We're not bringing men to give a speech. We're bringing men to train and organize them to patrol their own neighborhoods. I'm not wasting no time giving speeches. And if we had a venue, whether it's a ball stadium or convention, wherever you give us, politicians, give us that. And let us promote it. And when the men come in there, have their little say, here, you from Southeast DC, you sit over there. Southwest, you sit over there. And break every man according like the leader did in New York. It's Brooklyn in the house. Where you at, Brooklyn? It's so-and-so in the house. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to separate you now. We're going to already have ready the day we're going to train you, Southeast. So if there's 400 men in Southeast, Tuesday at Reverend Willie Wilson Church, show up. We're going to train you that day. Give you your arms. Give you your walking unit. Show the street you're going to patrol. Those that know you're going to be trained on, see, organizing. And then assign the men to the street. Listen, man, I don't care if them brothers out there gangbanging. They're going to be impressed to see somebody come and save their butt. And you know, Josh, every man went out in a fight.
That's right. That's right.
They just want to be able to get out there fight with their dignity intact. So we have to set up, squash the beef, conflict, mediation centers to be able to settle beefs. We got to do that because the leader asked us to do that. We're going to bring everybody who still got one more fight in you. Muslims, here you got one more fight left. This is our last hurrah. This is it. Hey, Josh, we're going for all the marbles. Everybody know, boy, you go for all your marbles. We need to take your marbles, you out the game, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your marbles. This is what we're going to do in D.C. Get ready. You heard me say it. I'm so inspired by my father, by listening to the minister, that I'm not going to let what he did go in vain. You can do it, but not Dennis. Not me. God brought me back from death door for a reason, and definitely for this season. I know that. On everything I love, I know that. There ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm so full of that man's spirit. And I'm going to say these words, Josh. I'm going to be through and let you finish answer. The Honorable Minister Farrakhan said this, Muslims. He said, you know why we're not successful, either in the mosque or in the church? Because we don't act on the word of God. He said, when you act on the word of God, it has power to change. I said, I just wish I had an amen church. But anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Listen, man, listen. In the book, when Jesus leaves, the Gospels close up. Then the book of Acts starts.
That's right.
It's in the book of Acts, Josh, that disciples decided to act on the word that the man was telling them in the Gospels when he was present. They weren't acting upon it then, but he ain't around no more, right?
Yes, sir. That's all right.
So they drawed on that word. They act upon that word. And when they act upon that word, they said they became apostles. Now they made the blind see, the lame walk, the deaf. They acted on the word. They could have did that when Jesus was among them. But they were too lazy. They let Jesus do all the work. Look at the word act. A-C-T.
That's right.
Wait a minute, Josh. Put yourself in there. I. Put the word I. That's self. A-C-T-I. All right, wait a minute. Act on. Word of God. You put the two together, you got the word action. Accepting the challenge to improve our nation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Look what the minister said. Believers, he said, when you act on the word of God, not only does it give you power, but it rewards you with its spirit. You can tell people in the nation that act on the minister's word. They have his spirit. And they're doing mighty, mighty great things. The word has power, Muslims, but it don't mean nothing if you don't act on it. And guess what? The minister is the word of God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the word. And you don't act on what he said, then you will never access the power of that word. Now I'm acting upon his words. When I hear him say, Sharieff is good for that too. When we act on the word, the power comes to us to change things. And we have his spirit. So Brother Dennis and all you Muslims, we're going to act on the same word that called the Million-Man March into existence. We're going to act on that word. And watch the same God that gave us the Million-Man March, Million Family March, Million More Movement, the same God, he will give it to us too. So we come into DC in the near future. I don't have a date, I don't have a time. I don't know if it's going to be before Savior Day or after Savior Day. I don't know. I can't say. I let God decide it. But trust me, we come into DC. And I'm going to use everything of my influence. I don't care. Sit on your behind, don't do nothing. Sit around and criticize and wait to get permission. Go ahead. You don't need permission to do good. That's what's wrong with us. What did he get permission to do? Oh, you. Our people saved them, man. They lost their mind. And look at what's happening in the Middle East. They are already in a fight that they won't win. And why they are doing that, that's called a distraction. Because if they wasn't trying to deal with them, they'd be dealing with us, like the minister said. Because the things that we're doing, y'all seen the video I posted where they showed the women twerking at the Chicago police? That kind of insane. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I called for a hospital. I put a video showing an anesthesiologist doctor putting his penis in a woman's mouth who's unconscious on the operating table in Brazil. And I say we need our own hospital. We got to get busy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Stop
sir.
talking about it and be about it. Muslims, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. So that's what I wanted to say, Brother Josh. I don't care what people think. I pray for a double portion of that man's spirit. He is the Messiah. He is and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us where he say, go, you go.
That's right.
Where he say, don't go, you don't go. Watch him. And I've been watching him and walking with him. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put on the streets in DC by the numbers like you've never seen before. And people are going to be so inspired that we don't need a National Guards. We need the men and women of the 10th fearless, not afraid. That was it. I mean, whatever, Josh. I just had to get that off.
Yeah, beautiful work, Captain. And thank you, sir. You got everyone in the comments having the spirit. And Nelson Rainbow saying, wow, Allah Akbar. My uncle, Minister Jamil, says, teach. This is my brother, Dennis. He has had the same spirit of inspiration and victory since I first met him over 40 years ago. We must have our own hospitals, exclamation mark. And thank you, everyone who's showing love. Brother Captain always has a spirit, fire emojis, and positive energy being sent your way, Brother Captain. Yes, sir. I also wanted to ask you, sir, I usually ask about music, what you're doing to relax, but what about, what are you doing to relax? Is it movies? Are you comedy? What are you doing, Brother Captain, just in your spare time, if you will?
Hey, dude, I'm a Netflix.
Netflix, okay.
Look at dude, I could tell you we stopped that series to people I know is into that, man. I said, man, did you see this series? And there's some series, man, that, that I got into, boy, I'm telling you, man, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable, the stuff that you can find on Netflix. Between that and other, I don't do a lot on social media. I have insomnia. So I'm active between 1 o'clock at night to 6 in the morning. I'm very active. I go to sleep about 7, then I wake up about 1 or 2. I'm off like a child, man. My clock is really off. But I get inspired, man, and I see things, man, through some of these movies, man, that really, so I'm entertained by that. I'm entertained because I'm always on conference call with the peacekeepers. So I'm constantly guiding the peacekeepers from my home. And I'm telling you, John, I stay on the phone a lot talking to believers and inspiring believers, and they inspire me. That's basically what I do, brother.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. People saying you teaching, Brother Captain. Thank you very much. We got one more question for you, sir. Yesterday you told me, or the day before, I think it was like 3 days ago, but you were speaking about there was a time, because I want, my sisters, Miriam and Naima always watching, my brother Rashad as well, you said there was a time where my father had death threats on his life, and that you assembled some brothers to help protect him, as well as make sure our family was straight. So I wanted to thank you publicly for that, and to let us know what was going on. I was too little to understand what was going on. I'm too young.
Oh man, listen, your father, he's a Supreme Captain, man. He had the leader had threats on his life. He had threats on his life. We had the history of the prior Supreme Captain, Raymond Sharieff, who they made an attempt on his life. They absolutely made an attempt. And nicked some of his ears, I was told. Oh, they paid a hell of a price for that. They paid a hell of a price. But nevertheless, there was a little threat on our brother. And I sent some New York soldiers up there. He knew who the soldiers was. Matter of fact, hell, they still up there. They never got back. But I couldn't trust a lot of the things that was happening because Chicago is full of politics. Very strong for politics. Got nothing to do with the minister. Nothing. But there's a few politicians always slip up in our ranks. And you ain't gonna love the Supreme Captain because he comes straight from the leader. And when somebody want to turn the ship this way, and he don't go along with it, because that ain't what the minister wants, then he sometimes may become a threat. So we sent some soldiers who loved him. And when they seen that New York crew come up there, that was in and all that threat stuff, you know.
As we talk about.
That was the end of all that. But they were not going to touch you, your mother, or your family. Not under our watch. It's always a thing you have to watch. Any organization, they always tell you the hit always comes from the inside, never the outside, son. We're not too much different. The assassination attempt on the Supreme Captain Raymond Sharieff came from the inside. They come from the outside. So the messenger said, history is best qualified to reward all of our research. So yeah, that's what we did. We're not bragging about that. That's our job as FOI to do that. So we just sent the soldiers up there.
Yes, sir. Well, I just want to thank you publicly and thank the soldiers as well. May Allah continue to bless you and their families as well. Thank you everyone who was watching. We can't wait to put this on YouTube. This has been phenomenal. Now we're going to have a Captain Dennis playlist on the People's Podcast for all of the interviews that he's done. This is part 3. Inshallah, we look forward to part 4. And we look forward to hearing, of course, many more stories, but what happens in DC, dealing with the National Guard and things of that nature. So we definitely look forward to seeing how that's resolved. And,
get your nose, nephew, get your nose. You're running there. You're running. You know, these dirty Negroes sitting up there watching. They want to wait till it drip off your lip.
And my sister's texting me now too, making me mad. She's like, Joshua, my God, Jesus Christ. But thank you, Red Captain. There's a weather change down here going on in Atlanta. But may Allah continue to bless everyone who's watching. We can't wait to put this on YouTube. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Thank y'all, family. Love y'all.
And love you more, Red Captain. National Guard and things of that nature. So we definitely look forward to seeing how that's resolved. And
get your nose, nephew, get your nose. You're running there. You're running. You know, these dirty Negroes sitting up there watching. They want to wait till it drip off your lip.
And my sister's texting me now too, making me mad. She's like, Joshua, my God, Jesus Christ. But thank you, Red Captain. There's a weather change down here going on in Atlanta. But may Allah continue to bless everyone who's watching. We can't wait to put this on YouTube. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alaikum salam. Thank y'all, family. Love y'all.
And love you more, Red Captain.